Okay, now we're going to do factoring quadratics, which again, my answer is going to end up with something that looks like the two parentheses, kind of like what we've been doing. But the difference here is there's now going to be a number in front of the x squared. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to mess everything up. I've got a way of doing it that some people like better. Sometimes that X box or where you find factors, sometimes that works a little bit better in these situations. So if your teacher has a different way, use it. It's great. But take a look at mine and see if this works for you. It's a little bit different. A lot of this is going to be trial and error. Okay. So you're going to try something, you're going to find out it doesn't work. You have to erase, you have to try over. Not going to lie, this one is a little monotonous, but let's give it a try. So when I do this, I still have my x and my x. Okay. But now I have to take factors of whatever's in front of the x. Now, if you're lucky, it's a prime number where it can only be 2 and 1. That's great. If this ends up being like 16, 16 and 1, 8 and 2, 4 and 4, you got to try all these, okay? But this one's pretty easy. So I'm going to do a 2 and a 1. I always put my bigger one on the left. It just kind of helps. That's a 1. You don't really need to write the 1. I'll do it there just to make it easy, but so you can see it better, but we have the 1 right there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to have to break my 3. 3 becomes 3 and 1. Okay, well, my 3 will go here, or my 3 goes here, or, vice versa. So let's go ahead and start with this. By the way, I can already tell this one's going to be wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. So what I want now is I want my outies and my innies to become the middle. Now, a lot of those negative ones still work. So, for example, on this one, I know they're all going to be positive, okay? And I know that they're going to add to the middle. Third term positive, they add to the middle. But what is the they here? The they is the outies and innies. What do I mean? I'm going to draw a line right there. There's my outies. There's my innies. What's my outies here? What is 2x times 1? The answer is 2x. What's my innies? 3 innies. 3 times 1, that's going to be 3x. Well, 3x and 2x, can I make a 7x out of that? The answer is no. So I have to try something else. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that. Now, this one, there's not a lot of choices, so that's helpful. So I'm going to now just switch these. I went 3 and 1. Well, what happens if I go 1 and 3? 2x times 3 is 6x. 1 times 1x is just another 1x. Can I make 6x and 1x become a 7x? The answer is yes, I can. And I can do that by him being a positive 6x and him being a positive 1x. 2x times what kind of 3 is a positive 6? That's a plus 3. And what kind of a 1 times a 1x is positive 1? A positive 1. So my answer is 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. Okay? The only way you're going to get this is by doing a bunch of them. I'll do 1 or 2 more on the board right here, but really the practice sheet is where you're going to get this, okay? It's going to be a little bit long, it's a little more tedious, but again, doing the practice is what's really going to get this. Now let me do one where we have some more choices, okay? And let's go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so if I look at this, the first thing I notice, I'll write an x and an x here, but I'm going to leave some space so I can put a number in front of the x, okay? I also notice that the third term is negative, so I know my signs are going to be different. I just don't know which one's going to be plus and minus yet, so I want to wait. And I also know that when I do my outies and my innies, okay, that these two numbers are going to subtract the 4 when it's all said and done. So I know that from what I've done before, okay? The one before we said factors of the third will add to the middle, or factors of the third will subtract to the middle, or whatever. Same thing, but now it's not factors of the third, it's factors of the outies and the innies. Okay, so now I have 4. Well, I can break 4 into 4 times 1, or I can do 2 times 2. Okay, well, let's just start 2 times 2. I honestly have no idea. I haven't done this problem. Who knows? Maybe I get it right on the first try. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, the 15, well, I can go 1 times 15, or I can go 3 times 5. So I have some options here. Now I know I want to get to 4. If I take a 2 and I times it by 15, I'm going to get a 30. So somehow I'm going to get a 30 and I'm going to get a 2. Am I ever going to get to 4? The answer is there's no way I'm going to do that. Okay, let me try my 3 and my 5. Okay, so I'm going to put my 3 here and I'm going to put my 5 here. Now, one reason I started with the 2 and the 2 is because they're the same. Is there any reason for me to flip-flop these? No, because it's still going to be 2 times 2. So if this doesn't work, I know I go straight to my 4 and my 1. Okay, so let's do my outies. 2x times 5 is a 10x. 3 times 2 is a 6x. Oh, look at that. 10 and 6. I know from third term negative, they're going to subtract to the middle. Will 10 and 6 subtract to the middle? You bet they will. Okay, so cool. I found it on the first try. You know, you're living good if that happens. So now, here's how I find out the negatives. I want this to be, because it's a positive 4, I need the 10 to be positive, and I need the 6 to be negative, because that's what's going to give me the positive 4. So now as I look at 2 times what flavor of 5 will give me a positive 10? And the answer is that 5's got to be positive. Okay, so now I have 2x times positive 5x. The middle, I need it to be a negative 6. Well, what flavor of 3 times 2 will give me a negative 6? And the answer is minus. Okay, so my answer is 2x minus 3, 2x plus 5. So there's the video, but you're really going to get this by doing them on your own. So I have a worksheet. Go for it. Let's see how we do.